everybody. Today I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison video with 4 different professional grade breaker bars. They're all roughly 24 inches long, they have half-inch drive ends as well as comfort grips. Now I paid over $400 for these, and if you're considering tools and you're considering different brands, hopefully looking at these side-by-side will help you make the best decision. Now the different brands we're featuring today will be Mac Tools, Snap-on, Pittsburgh Pro from Harbor Freight, as well as Matco. They're all designed to do exactly the same thing, but they might not have the same performance, and I want to show you side by side what those differences actually are. We're going to take some close-up looks at the comfort grip handles, we'll take some close-up looks at the chrome finish on them as well as the drive ends, and then we're going to do torque testing to see exactly how much deflection they have when a lot of torque is placed on them. Some of them might really bend like a pretzel, where other ones might be very stiff and have very minimal deflection, and that could be real important when you're looking at any one of these. I'll have some close-up shots, we're going to verify torque using a digital torque meter, and you're going to see firsthand which one of these is going to work out best for you. Here's a closer look at all 4 breaker bars side by side, and as you can see, none of the lengths are going to be identical. Now 3 of these are advertised as being a 24-inch breaker bar, being the Matco, Snap-on, and Mac Tools version, and then the Pittsburgh's advertised as a 25-inch breaker bar. But stretching it out completely, measuring from one end to the other, the Matco is actually the longest, coming in at 25.5 inches long, followed by the Pittsburgh at 25 inches. The Mac Tools is coming in at 24 5/8, and the Snap-on is the shortest, coming in at just over 23 3/4. The weights will also be similar between these, but not exact, and the heaviest unit out of them would be the Harbor Freight version, coming in at 2 pounds 7 ounces. Next is going to be the Matco at 2 pounds 4.5 ounces, followed by the Mac at 2 pounds 3.5 ounces, and the lightest out of the 4 is also going to be the Snap-on, coming in at 2 pounds 3 ounces. Taking a closer look at the drive end on each, you can see that they are very similar in their styling. 2 have black drive ends, 2 have chrome drive ends, and the one on the end is going to be the Matco, followed by the Mac, then the Pittsburgh, and then the Snap-on. The handles on each are a 2-piece design, with the colored portion being a very hard plastic, and then this black portion being a softer rubber overmold. Now the Matco, Snap-on, and Mac Tools version do have a softer rubber than the Pittsburgh, but the 2 materials on it are not the same. As far as the length goes, the Matco's coming in at the longest with 6 3/4 inches long, followed by the Pittsburgh at just over 5 3/8, then the Snap-on at just over 5 1/8, and then the Mac Tools is the shortest, coming in at 4 5/8. Leverage is something you always want to keep in mind, and that's where the length of a breaker bar is really beneficial, because applying the same amount of pressure or the same amount of weight on the end as you would a normal ratchet or a smaller breaker bar will result in different amounts of torque. The farther away that pressure is from the pivot point, being the drive end, means that you would apply additional torque without additional force. Now remember, because all 4 of these are lined up on one end, when we look at the other end, it does not automatically mean that that would be the same. Looking at the pivot points on each handle, I've marked the center position, and you can see where your hand would naturally rest. Considering that the Mac Tools version is actually not the longest out of the 4, its center position is the furthest away from that pivot point. In my opinion, it would provide the most torque because you would have the most leverage. In second place, it would go to the Matco version, followed by the Pittsburgh, and the one with the least amount of leverage, resulting in the least amount of torque, would actually be the Snap-on, because the center position of its grip is the closest to the pivot point of the drive end. To test the deflection with each breaker bar, or how much they're going to bend when I apply a lot of force putting torque on a fastener, I'm using a Skidmore Wilhelm Model T3000 digital torque meter. Now this is going to show without a doubt how much torque I'm placing on the fastener, and the little screen up here will go up to 1,000 foot-pounds. Now we're not going to achieve anywhere near that with only a 2-foot long breaker bar, but the range I'm looking for is between 250 and 270 foot-pounds. I weigh about 175 pounds, and because we're roughly 2 feet away from the pivot point, I'll have no problem hitting that. I'm going to lean down on each breaker bar, and what you're looking for is how much it bends, and also if it's going to pop back straight when all that pressure is removed. Because if you buy a breaker bar, this is specifically what it's designed to do, is break loose, let's say, a rusty nut or a bolt. You apply a lot of force, and you don't want it to bend in half when you go to use it. Starting out with the Matco, which I already have in the unit, we'll go ahead and lean down on this now, and you'll see how much deflection it's going to have. Leaning down on it, I'm up to 100 foot-pounds, I'm at 150, we're at 200 foot-pounds, and leaning down on it, I'm at 266 foot-pounds. I release the pressure, and it popped back straight. Moving on to the snap-on, we'll reset the unit, try that same test with it. We'll start out, we're at 100 foot-pounds, 150, 200 foot-pounds. We went down to 281 on this. It also popped back straight, and it does not have a permanent bend. Now we'll go with the Pittsburgh from Harbor Freight. We'll slide that in the unit, lean down on it. We're at 100 foot-pounds, 150, 200 foot-pounds, and I hit 298 foot-pounds with this one. It also looks straight, and it does not have a permanent bend. And finally, we're going to look at the Mac Tools version. I'll place it in the unit, lean down, we're at 50, we're at 100, 150, 200, and we went to 276. And finally, this one, like the other three, popped back completely straight. Two things that are really important to most people are country of origin as well as price. And because the Matco, Snap-on, and Mac Tools version are made in the USA, and the Pittsburgh version is made in Taiwan, we do see a big difference in price between them. Now, I bought all of these brand new. The Matco, Snap-on, and Mac Tools I had to buy online, and then the Pittsburgh I actually bought in the store, so there was no shipping delays. That means that I picked the Pittsburgh up the same day, where the Matco actually took 3 full weeks or 21 days from the time I placed my order to the time I received it. It came in after tax and shipping at $146.67 delivered to my door, with the Snap-on only taking 7 days to get to me. It was actually the most expensive, coming in at $148.47, and that's after free shipping off their website. The Mac Tools version got to me the fastest, other than the Pittsburgh, which I did pick up in the store, because I received it after only 4 days. It was also the second least expensive, coming in at $121.08. And then by far the cheapest out of the 4 of these would be the Pittsburgh. Normally these are $19.99, however I did use a 20% off coupon, and out the door I paid $16.84 direct from Harbor Freight. So now you've seen a side-by-side comparison with 4 different professional grade breaker bars. And like I showed you in those clips, they are very similar in the overall length and weight, but the big difference will be the handle shape as well as the price. They're all covered with a lifetime warranty against manufacturer defects, so if you happen to break one, and it's not an abuse situation, meaning you didn't slip a big pipe over the end of here and bend it in half, they will fix or replace these for you free of charge. Now what I'd like to know is, which one do you like the best? And if you own one of these, or more than one, which one would you recommend to other people? Leave a comment below this video and let everybody know about it, and tell them about your good or your bad experience, so hopefully that will steer them in the right direction as they're researching their tool purchases. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my channel, please click subscribe. And thanks for watching.